being on your own in anything, it's crap. Why do people actually go out drinking late at night and all that? It's to be around human beings. So I thought, if you want to win in life, you've got to move. Pitch black, raining, hailstone, you go. And I've always got shorts on. Our mission is to make better human beings. It's like, how much do you want it? If you really want it, then you'll do what it takes to get there. It's that simple.
Are you still thinking about the
Hyperbaric chamber? I've looked at it, like, looked at some bits.
So I've basically agreed, starting day for it probably be, I'm just looking at my diary because every day keeps,
yeah.
I'm sort of saying I'm semi-free in August and I can move things around, but as we're finalising the day, something's filling in the gap.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to start middle of August. What's really good with the guys with this that have this hyperbaric chamber is they're going to do a lot of the markers as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take what markers I need to do, and they're going to do their own markers, and then hopefully I'll look like you by the end of it. 2 weeks, 2 months in a hyperbaric chamber. Well, yeah, 2 months every day in a hyperbaric chamber. I'll look like you at the end of it.
What will I look like then if I do it for 2 months?
It doesn't happen that quick, does it? So
25 years.
There's lots of people don't know who Mark Waldron is, and there's lots of people do. But for the people that don't know, who are you? What do you do?
Something we've been talking about a lot, to be honest. The people who are around all the time, like, who do I say I am? What do I do? And I suppose first and foremost, I should say I'm a business coach. That's what I've ended up doing. I like helping people in the business. But previously, I owned a construction company. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a business partner to Andrea. I've got other hats that I wear. But typically, if I can help someone be a better version of themselves, that's my job. So whatever you'd call that job, that's me. And it just so happens to be that business is like the vehicle to help people in, but we move over to, let's look at you as a person, health and fitness, mindset, your relationships, what are you doing to give back and help other people?
Yeah, so it's like the full house of personal development, really.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's business focused initially. That's like the niche, like to get business owners, but you can't, no point earning millions of pounds if you're unhealthy and you've got terrible relationships and you know, nothing's going right in your life, even if you're making the money, and you know that. But there's no point trying to just have a six-pack but have no money coming in, and then or have great relationships but life's not good and you're not fulfilled. So you do have to have everything holistically aligned, otherwise one area that you focus on won't go well.
I created a pie chart. I was going to do a post on it, 2 pie charts. One, how I saw success was defined, how success was defined in my late teens and early 20s, and one, how I see it now. And when I did the pie chart, I realized about 80% of my deemed success as a 18, 19, 20-year-old was money. Probably 10% of it was socializing, nights out, friends that probably weren't really friends, and girls and all of that. And then a little bit was towards health and well-being. But as I've got older, the pie chart's nearly divided up equally in a sort of reasonable balance. And that's where, to be fair, I think you've nailed it. And since I've got to know you, you seem to have a very well-rounded and equally spread idea of what success is.
I think so, mate, yeah. It's hard as well, because, like, have you ever heard of Ikigai, the Japanese philosophy of, like, I forgot the term is, but it's like to live well. You've got to have, it's like, it splits into 4 categories, and it's what you're good at, say up there, what you can get paid for, what you're passionate about, and what you're doing for other people, like what what the world needs. And if you just focused on charity, what the world needs, and helping other people, but neglected the other three, great, you're helping, you're fulfilled, but you haven't got enough money to live. You've got, things are going bad in the other areas. And likewise, if you go too far over on the money side and say, I'm doing something I get well paid for, that's good, your job or your business, but you neglect giving back, or you neglect yourself, or what you're good at, what you're passionate about, that'll also, you'll be like, got loads of money in the bank, but I'm not fulfilled. And so you start looking at, like, there's these 4 areas, which is pretty much what you've come up with yourself. It's the same thing for every human being. If you can get somewhere near the middle, where you're not too far one side, you've nailed it. And that is where I'm pretty close to the middle. Obviously, we fluctuate, every day is different. You could end up too far one side, high or low, of the different criteria. But as long as you're somewhere near the middle, you're going to generally feel more at one with yourself, which is what it's all for, I think.
Yeah, so your idea of success is a not a failure in any area, but more of a balance throughout them all.
Yeah.
Because to be the Olympic athlete is nearly so extreme.
You've got to neglect the others.
But you neglect all the other things.
Yeah.
Or the world champion, or the billionaire, or you're neglecting so many of the other parts. So your idea of success is a well-rounded place in the middle of all of those things.
Yeah, and you could argue that, let's say you've got an Olympic athlete that's trained for 20 years. They're at the top of the game, and they've put everything into what you're good at and what you're passionate about. And those two would typically then lead into what you get paid well for, because an Olympic athlete, you'd expect maybe get good brand deals and get paid, so they get all that. But in the whole thing, they might not be giving back much because they're so focused on themselves and the team of people around them. But if they spend 20 years doing that, you usually find that once they retire, they then swing the other way and go full into, how can I help other people? Because I've really missed that for the last 20 years. I've focused on me. Let's now make it all about other people. And they probably neglect themselves more than they should for the next 20 years. Or you find a lot of people, they lack passion and purpose once they hit the goal. So a lot of people go into depression once they've won the gold medal. A lot of athletes have said that. Yeah. And millionaires who've got £1 million, 100 million, billion, they go, I've got the money, I thought it was what I wanted, and it's not. Well, it was, but it's not all what it is. There's other stuff.
You'll hear so many authors and podcasters that know billionaires, and they say most of them are miserable.
Yeah.
My dad always says, money doesn't buy happiness, but it gives you a better class of misery. And that's where you're trying to get the balance, really, to have something, some health and fitness, some money, some peace of mind. You're trying to get that central bit.
It's like the last few days, it's been my wife's birthday, and so spending time with my wife and our Mark, family time, that's important. But the back of my mind, I'm like, I've got so much work to do. And it's not work that I've got to do. It's like, I want to do it. Yeah. It's my business, and like, I love doing it. All that work leads to people improving in their life in some way because of our members. So the more work I put in, the more lots of people, hundreds of people are affected positively by it.
Have you always been like that?
Like what?
When I had that well-rounded approach?
No.
How did you end up getting to this place then?
Personal development. Being interested in developing myself. And most people, I would argue, start that journey with personal improvements, like going to the gym to be physically better, whether it's to look good or just to feel good or perform well. But when you do that, like the content you might consume on YouTube or social media in general will typically then feed in the bits of the other part. Like if you go in a gym, you're probably going to be into learning about mindset. So if you're into mindset, you probably come across content by people like Jim Rohn or Tony Robbins, and then once you've onto them, they'll then lead you down a path of maybe you could do a business. And then if you're looking at business, and one thing leads to another, and so you end up in a place where you're introduced to these things naturally because of the initial thing of, I want to get better in some way. So as long as you've got that desire inside to want to be better and perform in some area of life, the rest of them will usually have a knock-on effect, a bit like dominoes.
So what was the 20-year-old Mark like then?
20-year-old? eating junk food, getting drunk, going out to Liverpool 3, 4, 5 nights a week easy. Back then as well, when I was 18, 19, 20, you could go to Liverpool and every night of the week in Concert Square was like a Saturday night now, like every night. So it was crazy. You could just go.
I remember that.
So we just go tonight. Yeah, go on. It'll be boss. It won't be like if you go out on a certain night now, it might be dead. And back then the culture was fitness and health wasn't a big thing. So I'd be eating the crappy food, staying up late, Call of Duty till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, working a job in retail, not going to gym, and I started to dabble in working out at like 19, 20. So I'm 44 this year. It's like been 25 years, being like working out consistently for 25 years, and that was the thing that changed it. I'd say for me, if I didn't go to the gym, I mean, I might have ended up in the gym anyway. Eventually, I might have gone on a different path, but doing that is what led me to where I am today. Being interested in like being physically strong, getting bigger, because I was on it look like Where's Wally. Used to wear I still wear glasses now. I have contacts in, but glasses about 10 stone. It's like I just literally look like Where's Wally.
Was there a point you went like really extreme? Because you find that if people start to, the hardest thing to do is just slowly change a habit. Me too. If I want to lose weight, I'll probably go on a really extreme month diet or a fasting program to give me the kickstart. Did you go extreme and then balance out something, or did you just consistently make small improvements
with the gym, or just
with
in
your
life,
whole self-development? Focus on the gym, for example.
Well, the gym was the main thing. So at the time, still working jobs, retail, call centres, just your average job that people would have today. So when doing them, you're not paid much. Learning a skill, which is great. So I still use a lot of those skills today. So they're all, I don't think, oh, what a waste of working for someone else for years and not have a business, because I'm a good business owner now because of that experience. But going to the gym and seeing progress, learning the idea of it takes time to build muscle, to get strong. Generally, I was a weak person. I'm not like some people, like they've never been in a gym in their life. They can go in and start benching 100 kilo, 2 plates aside on a bar. Whereas I had to spend a few years to even get to the point where I could do 1 rep. We all start at different points. That's just part of life. So for me, being a little skinny kid, being 19, dabbling in the gym, and then slowly, for the first 4 years, bear in mind I was like 10 stone, 10.5 stone. I got to 14.5 stone in weight in 4 years. So every year I'd added about a stone just by training consistently. So I end up like probably the biggest you could get to naturally. You know
did you cut out the nightlife, or did it slowly dabble down?
No. But I'd be the guy that'd drive. I'd be like, I'll drive, I'm not drinking. And in the back of my car, I'd have protein shakes and all sorts. So we're in the club and I'd be leaving the club. So like, oh, it's been 3 hours. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I better get to the car and have a protein shake. And I'd be having protein shakes and just like be committed to the gym and the diet. Even though the diet wasn't the best, I was committed to getting the protein in.
That's quite good, really. So you didn't like completely cancel out your social existence. You were able to do that, but just stay sober.
Yeah, that's something I've always been able to do, and I think it's because of doing that, I was able to understand, like, you can go out and have a good time, you can be around other human beings, you can still have a good night, you don't need to be drunk. So I'd never associated this idea of, if I'm not drunk, if I'm not drinking, then I'm going to be antisocial. I'm not going to be able to fit in with the crowd. It's just, you do what you want to do. So like drinking water, that's my thing. Like even back then I'd just drink water, or maybe back then it'd be a Diet Coke, but I only drink water now. Worst thing I've ate for a while is that, and that's not even bad, is it? Kombucha.
There's about 33 calories in that. Anyone that wants to wean off any sugary pop,
yeah, great option, isn't it?
They're a great option. But do you think it's easy so people might say, oh, it's easy for you, but do you think genuinely it was difficult for you? I believe some people have a genetic pull that's really even more difficult when it comes to like dumping alcohol. Like, for example, I love drinking. I don't do it as much as I used to, but I still you know, the thought of having a glass of wine at dinner, which then leads to a bottle of wine at dinner for me, like at times is so, the lure is so much of a pull. Like, do you think that lure just was less for you, or you just disciplined yourself to make sure that that wouldn't be a regular occurrence?
I, I think it's because I had the goal in my head of what I knew I wanted, which is like be physically strong, be a big guy, you know, don't be a where's Wally. So when you're doing that, you've then got to look at, it's almost like reverse engineering the situation. If you want to be this, what you've laid out, what leads to that and what doesn't lead to that, there's two paths. You can either eat all your good quality food and you can do X, Y, and Z, or you can stay up late and not drink your water and drink alcohol and do all this stuff that doesn't serve that mission and that goal. And that's what life is like, whether it's business related or personal goals or whatever, relationships. It's what are we trying to achieve? What's the mission? And then how do we get there? What's the best way to get there? And what way am I willing to get there? Because again, you might want to be fit and strong and healthy, but you're not willing to give up smoking or alcohol or drugs or something. And it's individual. It's like, how much do you want it? If you really want it, then you'll do what it takes to get there. It's that simple.
So when did the entrepreneur journey kick into all of that?
When I was 27, 28, I was thinking I could probably get into trades, like be a tradesman of some sort. And I was working I purposely got a job in a plumbing suppliers because I thought if I'm working in a suppliers, like where lots of plumbers and gas engineers are coming in, I might get to know one of them enough that one day I might get an introduction to a company where they'll take me on, get an apprenticeship or whatever. And it never happened because once I'd been there about 2 years, it was 2008, and it was the big crash where everyone was being made redundant. So I got made redundant again, ended up back in the call centre again. And I was like a team leader there, had a big team of people. That was great learning, but back to square one. But in my head, I thought, there's got to be a way to get into construction. And funny enough, it happened through going to the gym. So by going to the gym, I met a guy called Daz, who had a local company in Wirral doing extensions and loft conversions, and just trained with him and another guy called Jackson. And over the months, got to know him really well. And he used to complain about like, oh, these apprentices and they're a pain. Can't wait till the time will be served in whatever date, July, and I won't be taking them on. And at the same time, I'm not really enjoying my job in a call centre, while at the same time working on the doors. So in Concert Square, Mood and other places. So working long hours. You think this is not the best situation. It's not a good scenario. Don't get much sleep. I work hard, but it's not fair. I don't make mega bucks from doing this, and there's got to be a better way. And so I thought I'd love to do construction still. And Daz, I know he's getting rid of apprentices, so I put it to him and I said that if I take a week off work, can I come and work for you for free? Just to like show you what I'm capable of, and also give me experience, and it'll let me know whether I definitely want to work in construction. So we said,
it's hard to say no to that, isn't it?
He said, go on then, let's give it a go. He actually paid me, I forgot it was like 100 or 200 quid, but he gave me a bit of money at the end of the week, so that was nice. But the week I was there, I was on a few different projects, and I just applied myself to the stuff I'd learned over the years, like what my dad had taught me and what I picked up from doing DIY and flat pack furniture and all this. Like on a technical level, I was pretty good with my hands. And at the end of the week, Daz was impressed. He said, like, you've done well. He said, I'd be more than happy to give you like a labouring job where you can learn. So once he said that, he said you can start in, I think it was like August or September. Like there's a month to go. So I handed me notes in my call centre job, started doing building work, and that's how I got the opportunity, just by allowing me time to be given up for free, prove that I'm good at what I do, or at least got the attitude, and be networking with the right people. And
that was probably the most time.
Do that now.
That was the worst time to actually get into construction.
Worst.
Because 2008, 9, 10, people were being laid off, and the money in construction was going down. So it was definitely, it shows if you really wanted it, you were willing to go the extra mile to get it.
But well, mate, the thing is, and this is like a good lesson for people, that poor situation for everyone was the reason why I've now, or did have, a construction company. because in the first 12 months, I worked for Daz for about 4 months, and he had this big job like ready to start in West Kirby. That didn't go through because the guy's finance couldn't get the finance he was expecting. So that big job, that would have kept him going for another 3-4 months. It's gone. So we said, I'm gonna have to let you go. So I'm thinking, oh, bloody hell. Now he told me on a Friday, by the Monday I had another job for a couple of lads that I'd like been sort of pally with over the years from round that way. They give me a job for the next 3-4 months. Their work dried up, and then they were like, gotta let you go, because again, just work was just up and down at that time. So I got a job with another construction company who did like commercial work, and they did stuff over in Anfield, and so I was travelling through the tunnel every day. When they had to let me go after like 4 months, it's like 4 months with each one, I thought, I've learned enough here to be comfortable enough to give this a go myself. So I thought, I'm just going to start doing this myself. I'll put myself out there and start getting my own customers and see what happens. So that the circumstances forced me to say, let's just do it myself. I think I can do it better than what they're doing, and to a better standard, because I've seen stuff on sites thinking that's not the way I do it, but that's the way they do it, so I'll accept. But if I was doing it, I'd be doing it this way, and I'd take longer, and I'd charge some money for it, charge good money for good quality workmanship. And so I still had like a convertible, and I was enjoying it, and I'd be turning up at people's houses with wood hanging out the back, because it was like big pieces of long wood where I've got the roof down, because I didn't have a van. So very shortly in, it's like, I better sell this and get a van. And within a year, again, this is a good lesson, through relationships, through networking, I started doing work for loads of local letting agents. So they're going, there's a job, can you do that? And I'm thinking, I'm not an expert at this, but I know I can. I've got YouTube, I've got the internet, I know people who are in the trade, so anything I need to know, I'll go and get the information so that I can then go and do it. And very quickly, I've basically built a maintenance company. So I've got loads of people on Wirral, loads of letting agents saying, there's some work, there's some work. And I realised just how easy it was to get leads coming in, all the leads you could ever need, more than I could cope with, which then put me on the journey of learning business, because it's like, when you have too much work, you're like, shit, I'm dropping balls here.
It's not work anymore, is it? It's business.
They're ringing me up going, have you been to the house? And I'm like, which house? The one we sent you a week ago. And I'm looking for my emails and it's there. I'm like, sorry, I've literally missed it. So it's like, how do I manage this? So without ever being told to do it, I thought, or shown it, because again, I'd never done it formally, like learning business. How do I manage my job? So I made a spreadsheet, and as a job comes in, system goes on the spreadsheet, customer goes in. I have a drop-down menu of all the different stages it could be at. So like, have you called the client or the tenant? Is it booked in? Have you been? Have you sent a quote? Are you doing the work now? Is it live? Is it done? All these, and it's like, I can't ever miss a job ever again now. And then it was, if the job's done, have you sent the invoice? Has the invoice been paid?
Were you still on the tools at this stage?
Oh yeah,
or you were...
just me with an apprentice. I took on an apprentice, and then I'd started to hire a couple of people, like to, subcontract. And I'm doing all, and they had this massive spreadsheet that was like, it controlled the business. And then eventually someone in my networking circle said, if you want to run a big company, you need a proper CRM. Get some sort of software that is like, manages all your jobs in the way you're doing it, but just not off a spreadsheet. And I come across a company that was like ideal for what we needed, and I started using a proper CRM, which did the same thing, but it was more in-depth and complex. And then I realised and understood how everything connects in a business.
So your management skills from early on, your discipline, through not drinking, training, you used all those skills to then transfer into your business. Yeah,
and the whole time still going to the gym, and it'd be work hard all day, doing me private jobs and jobs for letting agents. 4 or 5 o'clock, finish for the day, go to the gym. Like it's going to happen. You're going to the gym. Once the gym's done, go and do visits to the properties of the jobs that have come in. Let's go and quote. Then when I get in at home, and it's usually 8, 9 o'clock at night at this point, start working on writing the quotes out, like what have I seen? Okay, I'm doing this. That's the materials. Work it all out. each quote could take 30 minutes. Might have 10 quotes, you know, it's a lot of hours. So I'm working till 11, 12, 1 in the morning from a bedroom in my mum's house. So I still live back with my mum. At that point I had a girlfriend who was split up back in my mum's house. And then getting up early, 5 in the morning to get to work.
So when you look back at what, even to that part of your journey, if you look back now, would you have done things differently? Or did that just teach you what, or could you have done things differently?
No, I would. Yeah.
I often look back and think, there's so much I would have done differently, but because I did it that way,
that's how you know.
I ended up realizing what I had to do next.
Yeah. To a degree, yeah. I agree with that way of thinking, but at the same time, I've also learned in life that if you can learn from other people's mistakes and actually learn from a mistake properly, you will get there faster. So I could definitely be in the situation I'm in right now, but maybe 5 years sooner. You know what I mean? So and that's why what I do now, which we can move on to later if you want, but what I do now is that's the platform. It gets people together to say,
when you set up
when I set up Move, where have you failed? What do you know about business that I don't know? Let's share ideas, let's help each other. Because one of our construction jobs, we lost around about £30,000 on the job. And we're there for, it meant to be 4 months, took 6 months because it was just a nightmare. But that one job alone taught me like tons of things about business, about how to deal with architects and other people who are coming in that you have to deal with, subcontractors, the clients, how to price a job, how to run a job, project management, expectations, all these different things. And back, you know, if I was in that situation now, I wouldn't lose a penny.
You know what I find with that, and I've had end of stories like that with myself, that I find that £30,000 loss hurt so much that it made me learn the lesson. Where if you went into it and the person goes, oh, you lost 30,000, doesn't matter, just take that 30 because it's not fair on you, you might have got away with it and not actually learned the lesson. Yeah,
I've heard someone call it your tuition fees for life.
Well, it is.
And it's like, you pay 30 grand to go and learn this lesson, but
I don't want any more tuition. I've had so many tuition fees.
They never end, but you just get less and less.
Yeah, you just don't want them to hurt as much.
Yeah, but that job, that one job, which still, I remember it vividly now. Even the site, it makes it. Even right now, I'm thinking, that's a horrible place and time. Don't go there. But like, when you realise you're looking at your P&L and you're like, we did, so we've spent this much and we're owed this much, and then and you look at the figures and you're like, oh yeah, so we're meant to make 30 grand profit on this job and we've made nothing.
Yeah.
So we've technically worked for the last 6 months for zero money. I could have actually sat in a chair like this for 6 months and be the same off financially. And you think of all like the sleepless nights you've had with like the client moan and sending emails at 11:30 at night.
I've done it.
And me responding there and then.
My first two real years in business was end of 2005 into 2007, and I was heavily involved in property. So I did 2 years of work thinking I was going to be heavily rewarded, and ended up in a minus with so many zeros after the minus. I was afraid to count. So but in saying that, I could have sat in my chair for 2 years and done nothing. But them 2 years followed by the next number of years is actually my lessons. Yeah. The whole, easy to say now when I've bounced back from it. Yeah. But at the time there was a moment I thought, what the fuck have I actually done? So do you know in your construction work then, when did you start thinking about MOVE Networking, MOVE Online, MOVE Netwalking?
To be honest, it was that job, this bad job with this client who just wasn't, just generally wasn't a nice person. I always think like maybe that's quite hyperbole and a really extreme way of thinking, and it's like they weren't really that bad. But I think back now of all the stuff they did, and I think, no, they were like, that was a bad person. They were not very nice. When I look at how I treated them, gave them so much of like, look, this has been priced wrong by our QS, but we'll foot the bill for that. And it's a £3 grand bill. I'm like, we'll just get that done. And I think how I'd respond to someone giving me that much like you know, leeway, saying, look, don't worry about it. I'd be thinking, oh, they're sound, and I'll treat them really well. They were like trying to take, even after me giving them, saying, look, we've messed up, but we're going to stay on the job. And you just, either way, evil people, or very misguided in life, whatever.
It is hard sometimes because some people genuinely take advantage and other people genuinely don't.
Yeah. These were the pinnacle of advantage takers.
So that made you, so that gave you the drive to
think,
set up.
well, I thought outside the box. I'm thinking, if I can be, even if when I mess up, I can be a good human being and do the right thing, and I can still end up in this situation. That doesn't sound like a good path to me, to keep going down that path, which is very unpredictable. So construction, while I like working with my hands and making stuff and standing back saying, look at what we've built, I don't love it enough to do it for the rest of my life. So there's got to be something else. And at this point of, being running a business, probably 8 years at that point, I'm like, what else can I do? What else is out there? And that's part of like the whole personal development stuff. You go searching for answers on YouTube, and it's like business ideas, how to make money, all these different things, like alternative businesses. And I learned that you could sell stuff on Amazon. You could, have a product to sell. There's all these different things. And in my head, it was like, I'll have, which again, everyone's got one now, virtually it seems, but I'll have a brand, like a sports brand or a t-shirt brand or something, clothing brand, and it'd be called MOVE, because I thought, what could it be called? And it'd signify what I'm about, which is always going to the gym. People at that point coming to me for advice, and you seem to be doing well in business, you've got loads of clients, you're not, everyone seemed to be always looking for more business, but I had more than I could handle. It's like we could turn over 10 million if we wanted. We just didn't have the resources to grow the company that much. Most people the other way around. They've got capacity, but they can't get the clients in. I'm like, no, I'm marketing and getting business in, no problem. And then physically in good place, all my relationships in a good place, don't have no drama, always helping other people. So all like the principles of what MOVE is now, those all that stuff. Why am I in that position? Even though I'm not super successful, I'm just, life's going well. Why do people come to me for their advice in those different areas? And it's like, well, what am I doing that they're not? What is the difference? And I literally thought about that for weeks. And it was like, for me to be in physically good shape, you've got to go to a gym. And you can't just go to the gym, you've got to work out, you've got to physically move and
for quite
your body.
Long period of time.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I've got that. I've moved, Dave, now. I'm knowledgeable because I keep making mistakes and I keep learning, keep applying myself, keep reading books, listen to podcasts, so I'm always learning. So in my knowledge, I'm always moving along, always keep moving in knowledge. So I'm moving in knowledge there now. And you can see where I'm going with that. It's like relationships. If I've got a problem in a relationship, I go and address it. I don't let it linger. It's like, let's keep that moving, keep things in good order with my family, my friends, whatever. And then all these areas of life that you can measure, I thought, as long as you keep moving and you keep doing something, you typically progress. And what's the opposite of moving? It's sitting there, doing nothing. It's being stagnant. It's being dormant, and that gets you nowhere. So I thought, if you want to win in life, if you want to be doing something and progressing, you've got to move. So I thought, I'll have a t-shirt brand called MOVE. And I made the logo, or versions of the logo, which had like the MO and the V on its side, which signifies like keep going, an arrow. And it was early 2018, just when I was in that situation with this bad client, thinking like, I need to do something else here. And it was just, and then I looked into t-shirts, selling them on Amazon, good at work, struggled finding the type of supplier. So it sort of fell by the wayside. And then the next construction job I had was a really good one, really good architect. Working with them was a dream, it was great. But I thought, in order to make money like I am now on that job, I've got to be on site. I've got to be the guy being there. Do I want to do that for the rest of my life? Probably not. So in order to make good money, I'm going to have to be the person on site, and I don't want to be for the rest of my life going to that site and just can't see that future.
So what's it like for a day for you now?
Not every day goes the same, but on a typical day, I like to get up early and work out. So I get up between 4 and 5 o'clock. I like to say 4, but recently it's not been 4. It's been, I might get to bed a bit later than I planned, so I'll always have my 7 hours sleep, and I'll get up, have a workout, usually shred fast, which can be done at home. So I'm straight into the kitchen, 2 kettlebells, no excuse. Don't need a membership to a gym, don't need to travel anywhere, don't need a car. You can just work out from your kitchen or your living room.
So you're straight into a kettlebell workout?
Straight in, up, straight in, cold shower.
How long does that workout last?
An hour. So they have a system which is like 30 minutes, 45 or an hour. So I'll just follow on screen what they're saying do, and I'll just copy.
Oh, they've got an online class? Yeah. Or it's a recorded?
Recorded.
Recorded, okay, so you'll go and they'll...
Turn it on, some music starts, instructors there to like copy off me, do a warm up, do this, and I'm just doing that.
Okay.
Nice and simple, which takes away from the years I've done of like working out where it's my workout, I'm thinking like what I'm going to train today, planning it all out. It takes brain power. So for the last 2 years doing shred fast, it's just been, takes no mental,
just going.
It takes nothing. You tell me to do that, I'm going to do that. Lift that for 20 reps, okay. Like, I'll just do it. So nice and simple. Because I've worked out, I'll then eat straight away afterwards an omelette, 6-egg omelette, oats, couple of good quality supplements, but like I'm eating well straight after my workouts, because it's like, why not eat well? Get showered, be ready for the day, and by this point it's like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'll usually do a social media post then, possibly in the morning. And then some of the days I've got commitments like online mastermind groups, so it'll be 7 o'clock in the morning on some days. I'm on a call straight away with a bunch of entrepreneurs and people new to business, people long in the tooth in business, all helping each other. And then after that...
Do you know your social media posts, are they planned? Or is it what you feel or think?
Bit of both, yeah.
Is it a theme?
I have, there's no theme. A lot of it is, I have pillars. That's how I go off it. So like, for me personally, as a personal brand, it's like, what do I want people to see? They've got to see Move. So like, networking and Move online. They have to see me being me, so going to the gym or, you know, working out, stuff with our Mark, family stuff, which doesn't take up a lot of the content. And then topical stuff. So talking about homeschooling or talking about business, or just doing a post that's in the public eye at the moment, talking that, because it gets good engagement. And then anything else can go then from that point. If I decide to post, I will. If I don't, doesn't matter, but as long as I cover them. But the content at networking makes up the most of my content at the moment, which is me asking questions while we're networking to our networkers, and that gives them exposure.
Yeah, so networking is
it's ultimately networking, walking for predominantly business owners and professionals.
And often do you do that? 3
days a week. So we've recently started in the last year the Liver buildings right by there and go around the docks 6 till 7. But our 2 original ones were West Kirby on a Sunday. That was our first one, and that's 7 in the morning till 8:30. And then also on a Saturday, Sefton Park again, 7 till 8:30.
No matter what time of the year.
Every single week of the year. So
no, but in the winter, daylight's dark.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Pitch black, raining, hailstone, cold. We go, and I've always got shorts on. Every time.
Isn't it right? And to be fair, the networking part is, I think, it's one of the most powerful parts of your whole business, and it's so engaging, and people have it's really given a lot of people something back. But isn't it funny? There's isn't it right at the start? Sometimes when you started it, you were the only one turned up.
Yeah, well, it's happened.
And you still did it.
It's happened on 2 occasions. One of them was because it was a Sunday morning. The night before, we'd organised a social event, so a Move Social. We do them every few months, and we thought we'll have one for Christmas. And I arranged this social. It was like, I remember it being, we were in Fredericks on Hope Street. Christmas dinner, great. Everyone loved it. Good night. And one by one, people are saying, been a great night, Mark. That's amazing. Like, bit drunk though. Probably won't come to networking in the morning. I'm like, okay, that's okay. And the next person say it, and I wasn't going to every person. They're like, probably won't be there in the morning. I'm thinking, not gonna have many people there in the morning. And at that time, we might get anything from 10 to 20 people. So I thought, well, I'm still going. Like,
the key is
I'm out.
You're going
and
to
even back then, by the way, I still drunk back then, so I wasn't going mad. I was just had a couple of drinks or so. But I thought, or I might have even got, not drunk, but I was like, I'd had a few drinks. Steph was driving, so she drove me home. But I thought, I'm getting up in the morning. That's what it is. You get up, you go. So I got up, went, and there was no one there. And I waited till 7:10, because we shut off at 7:10. Give 10 minutes to get everyone there. Well, silent. But again, I capitalised on that and did a post, social media post, and talked about it and said, just me. It's not wrong that people haven't come, but in their world, they want to go out and have a good time, get drunk. And right now they're probably either in bed asleep or they've woke up with a hangover or whatever. That's fine. Like, that's, you've done what you want to do.
They're the moments really that there's normally somebody you look up to, and in that moment, whether people have said it or not, they've looked up to you and they thought, well, that's the guy. That's the reason we're part of your
I think
group.
so. Yeah.
Because you're the one that turned up.
Yeah.
If you hadn't have turned up, and some of the other ones had turned up, well, who knows? That could be the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
That's leadership.
That's exactly how I feel when weekends. This is Monday, isn't it? Yeah. So yesterday was Sunday. Yeah. And I'm not saying it because I think I'm better than anyone else, but I'm in the office Saturdays and Sundays a lot because I need prep for my week. And if I'm not leading by example, then the whole thing might not be here.
Yeah.
And how could I then preach or guide or mentor if I'm not the person that's willing to do that extra bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. The mentoring is the most important part. Like, if you can't, a mentor is someone that says, I've been there and done it, and I'm going to now teach you. So what is it you're teaching someone? It's your habits and what you've done in the past.
So go back to your normal day, because I don't want to miss it. So you finish your 7, you do your social post.
Yeah.
You do your online,
mate. I mean, as an example, Wednesday we've got one at 7 in the morning till 8:30. Then like an hour gap, hour and a half, and then we've got another one at 10 o'clock, 10 till 11:30. So it's not until the afternoon that I've even got time to go and do stuff with, whether it's social time or work time or whatever.
Well, what does work time look like? It seems like you're guiding a lot of people.
So yeah, we're catching up with members and meeting them for a coffee or online on a Zoom. A lot of it could be literally texting away at people, just different conversations in WhatsApp and voice notes, and it's just all of a sudden an hour's gone by because you've been like helping that person and voice note someone for 5 minutes, and everyone's got all these little, there's like little pockets of time throughout the day where you just, someone contacts you and you're like, okay, and you reply back either typing away or voice notes, and it just, that takes up a lot of the day, and so it almost splits the day. But myself and Andrea will typically have a lot of people we're going to meet, and it's in the diary, it's in the calendar, it's set in stone. So it's like, that day I'm going to Liverpool, into town, to this venue to meet that person.
So there's a lot of meeting people.
There's a lot of meeting people. It's networking. It's either people who are the thinking of coming to MOVE, they're the MOVE, or it's people we can collaborate with, people that we can, in some way, shape or form, work with or help where there's a positive outcome. People become better. That's our mission. Our mission is to make better human beings. So you look on our website, or you speak to us, or you do a MOVE online meeting, like there's always something in there that says our mission is to make better human beings. And when we say that, we literally mean you can look at your life in 4 quadrants. I say there's your work part of your life, or your business, whatever you do to make money. There's you physically and mentally being in the best place. There's all your relationships that make up what your life is. Your home, your social circles, your work circles, all the different people that you speak to on a daily basis, having them in a good place. And then your position in life, are you giving back? Can you contribute? Can you help other people? And they're the 4 areas of, like, you can probably split them into mini categories, but generally it's those 4 areas. If you're helping someone develop in one of those 4 quadrants, they're becoming better. And typically the business will benefit from those other 3 areas being better, as well as the business area itself. So that's why we focus on the whole human being. If you can get someone in the best place physically, mentally, relationships are good. Like a good example, someone today, big issue with other people, like drama and all sorts of stuff. And we don't often have that in MOVE, but this person's just got a few things going on, quite new to our community. The fact that they're having issues with other human beings is stopping them from doing their job and their business. And that I see it straight away. It's like they're now focused on this issue and these people complaining and like, you know, saying stuff and they're saying stuff, and it's like, just by not having a good healthy relationship with those people, you're now affected in your ability to create content, to work, to help clients. So everything in your life has got to be in a good place.
I am completely guilty of that. I remember, well, it's probably embarrassing to say, so many times in the past when I've had an issue with somebody, it's just eaten up my whole day. That one thing has taken days, weeks, and sometimes even months.
Yeah.
If I was to think for the try and practice getting, just forgive or forget or erase it or get rid of that person, it's basically ate me away. But I'm the type of person that will then sort of deal with it my own, like you won't know externally, and I'll nearly try and calculate at times, right, how am I going to deal with this, that nobody know that I'm getting my own back. And I've spent months wasting where that could have been so productive.
Yeah.
I don't do it as much now, but it was one of the hardest things for me to get over, where if someone upsets me, it's nearly right, I'm going to get my own back.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I would be preaching to people, why worry?
Yeah.
But deep down, I'm like I've been a hypocrite so many times where I thought, I'm going to get my own back on that because that's not fair.
Yeah.
And they've probably forgot to see, they probably don't even know it's even existed.
Yeah.
So it's just me and my own battle with myself about a situation. But thankfully, that's probably one of the best learning curves I've had. And you touched on sleep before, where I've gone to bed in the past wide awake thinking about something that's absolutely no benefit to me, really, to my development. But
take space.
Yeah. And we all have a limited amount of space.
Yeah. But that's the way I look at it. Every day you could say you've got 100 units of brain space, brain power. It's like every time you give one of those units away to something negative, or a person or a situation that doesn't serve you, that's a unit gone. You've only got 99 now.
Doesn't Stephen Bartlett talk about it in like credits? If you've got like 24 hours in a day and you've got 24 credits.
Yeah, it's good.
He talks about it like that, where you only have a limited amount of credits. So why use your credits up on something that's something that's absolutely useless?
And that's where I would say having your mission in life and in business and being really in tune with it. So again, mine being to make better human beings. I think about that every day. I think like, who am I speaking to? Who am I trying to help? Are they better off from interacting with me? Are they going to be, yesterday I did, we had someone at Netwalking, and I did what I call the pillars of health. So it's just a simple system I've developed. And I just think like, what are the 10 main things that you can do for your health? And it's, sleep, being hydrated, good nutrition, learn, help other people. It's just 10 things, and you can measure each one of them up to 10. So if someone's like in a bad place in life or having issues or whatever, I would say, first of all, let's look at the stuff that's totally free. Let's look at your pillars of health. Where do you score on sleep right now? It might be a 6 out of 10. What about working out, like physical resistance training? Oh, I haven't worked out for a week. Okay, it's a 0 out of 10, no problem. But let's just measure. And you end up with a score like 32 out of 100. This person had a score of 12 out of 100. I said straight away, we can see why you're having a bit of a bad time and see why your mindset's not in the right place. But the best thing about the pillars of health is you can get to like halfway minimum straight away quite quick. You can decide to just fill that glass up and drink water. Then your hydration's at 10 out of 10. Just stay at 10 out of 10 all day.
I think I've got about 12 things that I can do in the morning. And I try, and I got it from Andrew Huberman. I was listening to one of his podcasts. And I try to habit stack in the morning. So I instantly wake up and try and drink a full glass, if not a bit more, of my filtered water. I then instantly get my book, or if I'm feeling a bit lazy, I'll put on some podcast or some learning. I'll go on the balcony, and I've got a spin bike, so I'll try and get 30 minutes daylight, with some sort of education. If I'm sometimes I even go on the spin bike, just slowly pedal and try and read something, even if it's 10 minutes reading and then 20 minutes of a podcast. So by that stage, I've had my water, I've had some start to the exercise. That's the days that I'm not training. I'll then do my reading and I'll get my daylight, and I try and habit stack as much the minute I wake up. And if I get sort of like 8 to 10 of those things done, I've even made a rule, I can't check my phone unless I'm sitting on the spin bike. And it works. Like the simple rule.
Yeah.
Because I want to check my phone.
You want to get there.
Well, another habit was I don't have anything digital in my bedroom. So my phone's turned off, it's in the kitchen, and it's probably turned off an hour before I even go to the bedroom. So that's my moment to chill out. But the want for me to turn on my phone in the morning, it sends me out to the spin bike. The days that I'm going training, when my coach, and as you said before again, I've been training with my coach now for fitness coach for 10 years now. I literally don't know what I do. I go, listen to him, he tells me what to do, he's recorded it all down. I go back the next week and say, what weight, what reps, how long, what? Repeat. And I still don't know, because I've gone there to be told what to do. The flip side is when I hit business mode, I literally have everything documented, remember everything else. But that habit stacking of all the little things, coupled with trying to get more sleep, it makes you feel invincible that you've managed to get to 9 o'clock in the morning and you've done all your things. Where if I do the opposite and have a bad night's sleep, or I go out drinking, I find that I go out drinking, my training's shit. I won't go on the spin bike. I'm a bit late.
Diet.
I'll drink the water, but really I want coffee, I want a stimulant. And the rest of my day is kind of lethargic and basically screwed over.
That's it. I see it every day with people.
So it's so easy, really. Easy when you start doing it, but not easy when you when you don't have someone to guide you on it. And I think that's the beautiful thing about now. We've all grown up with mentors or coaches, whether we knew it or not. Grandparents, parents, neighbors, football coaches or whatever. But now more so than ever, it seems to be, it's kind of obvious that you have to have joined some community where they're going to either drag you on the journey with them, or they're going to push you to be in a better place. Do you think the MOVE now as an identity, you obviously were doing it and taking people on the journey, do you think the wave of MOVE now just pushes you to, even if you had a bad day, you've got no choice, you will still do it because it relies on you as much as it relies on you as much as you rely on it?
It is like there's a responsibility there, isn't it? It's just, you got a ton of people who, they're there for a reason. It's different for everyone as well. Some people just want more business coming in, so they're in MOVE. Some people are doing okay in business, got the leads, but they need a bit of support on how to run the business better. Others are cracking on, but they're on their own, one-man band, self-employed, work from home, don't see anyone. So they get to see people because it's lonely in business, and they get some belonging then. It's like, oh, I'm in the community. So there's different reasons why people are in, but if I can help accelerate the progress of the community, keep it expanding and keep enabling people to get what they want and get more of it, so that they feel like this is way worth being in this community, then that's what drives me. Even last night, I was doing a post last night, and I like to post on a Sunday because a Sunday's a different day, isn't it? It's like people are chilling out. It's a non-work day for most people. You got to think. I get behind the psychology of the person and think, when is someone going to be sat there on the phone scrolling? So I want to be there, popping up when they're scrolling. And I've just figured out, for me and my audience, different for everyone, but it's like 6 to 7 o'clock at night. If I post then, gonna get good traction. And I did a post last night, and I'm thinking, it was about 6:30, 7. I'm thinking by the time I've edited this post, bear in mind there's a ton of answers, so I've got to go through the whole video and get it looking right and sounding right and put the captions on, and then you got to tag everybody in the post and remember who was seen on the video then and what's their handle on social media. It takes so much effort to put in, but at the time I'm thinking there's no option to not post. It's Sunday night, it's a good opportunity, put it up. It could go viral, it might fall flat on its face, but my job is to put it up. It's not to try and make it go viral or do well. And I know that indirectly, that single post might lead to someone saying, oh, what's that? Or that's the 50th time I've seen this guy. I'm finally going to take the plunge and get involved in this thing he does. And they get involved, they come into MOVE, they end up in a WhatsApp group, they build relationships with people in MOVE, and in 3 months or a year, someone says, I've just got my biggest contract, it was from that person, and that person come in because of the post they seen that I did on a Sunday night a year ago. So it's all connected, and I'm very good at zooming out of the whole picture and seeing like the meta view of business and life.
What's the most common thing that people say to you and go, say to you that they didn't realize they would get out of MOVE?
It's more so, it's people learning about the stuff that they didn't know they needed to know. So they come in initially to think it looks like a business networking club, so I want to network, I'll go MOVE. And they come in thinking I'll try and find more business coming in, which is great, and it works great for that. You can get as much business as you want from it. Lots of people to network with. But then they start realising there's good conversations to be had, and you'll learn about social media that day from someone, or systems and processes, or a little tip about leadership, or something that they've been doing that's affecting the business, and they've just learned why it's happening. So, okay, I'll stop doing that. So you just gain all this knowledge from people through conversations, whether it's networking or online events or speaking to me and Andrea directly or whatever. They get something from it and think, okay, I can actually run my business a bit better now, and my life. I can make my life's better because I'm learning about relationships and how to, think of things from a psychological level. Because I'll talk about psychology to people and they'll have problems, and I'm like, well, have you thought about it from the other person's perspective? Like, what are they thinking? What are they expecting? And what could you do based on what you know and they expect? Because that'll then dictate how you approach a situation to gain clients or to have a good relationship or whatever it may be. And all these things that people learn.
So it's the learning that
it's all the learning
that they don't realise. Well, you're not going to know that you're going to. You don't know what you don't know.
That's
so
it.
They don't know that there's all that learning.
Yeah.
Look, the thing about community is there. No matter what community it is, it's there to help and support each other. Really.
Yeah. I think most people understand how lonely it is in business when they eventually get involved in a community. Like a monster in and around all these people. Some of them are like, I've just started in business this week, or I'm thinking of starting a business, not even in business. And then you've got people who are, they employ a number of people, they've been in business 5, 10, 15 years. And no matter who you speak to, you'll get something from them, but you'll realise that they've been lonely before that point. So again, they're in the house on their own, working. Or you might be a business owner and you've got 50 staff, but you've got no one to speak to about the business. Because you're not going to tell your staff like, oh, just so you know, no, we've got a cash flow issue. You're not going to go and tell your staff that. But you need to tell someone.
Yeah.
Maybe you tell your husband or your wife that that sounds bad, but I don't understand what that means. What's cash flow? So when you're speaking to business owners, there's a conversation that's different to when you speak to other people. So you may physically be around people, but you're still lonely. You feel isolated. And when you get to speak to people in an environment that is all encouraging, tell us about where's your vulnerabilities right now?
I've always, I kind of joke that it's maybe because of my lazy gene as well, but I've never wanted to make all the money myself. Now, whether I understood that was the power of leveraging people, or it's the power of just a problem shared is a problem halved. I've quickly realized very, very early on that if there was me and a business partner or me and a team, I can 10x or 20x that return. But if I'm on my own and I'm sitting there, I'm also going to be lonely. I don't like to be on my own. So I always like to be around people, and i.e. good people. So I've always craved the attention of people. But with that, I also like other people doing well. Because it's a bit sad if you're the only one doing well at the Christmas dinner, isn't it? Congratulations to me, but the rest of you are all fucked and you can't buy Christmas dinner for your family. Well, that would be a sad place to be. So I've always found naturally that if I can do well, but everybody else does well in whatever form that is for them, then somehow the leverage of all of that ends up, it's exponential, really.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's like they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a team. And we all want to go far. It's like being on your own in anything, it's crap. And I was only thinking about this concept in a similar way the other day, like, because I was thinking about, like, in my head, I was thinking networking is a concept which is almost like you could liken it to a night out, but it's like the new night out. Why do people actually go out drinking? Why do they go late at night and all that? It's to be around human beings.
Yeah.
And the way you can prove that is, would you be excited to go out drinking in Liverpool city centre if there was not one person out? You were on your own. Would you be excited to go out? Like, no, I don't think one person would be like, yeah, that's going to be great. Let's go and drink loads of alcohol, listen to music, and there'll be not one person in any bar or club or on the street. Like, it'd be a terrible existence. You'd be like, this is awful.
The social side of it.
So the social side is what people want. We've just ended up in a society where the way to do that was typically, well, let's go to the pub.
Go to the pub, yeah.
Because before the pub, there wasn't nothing, unless you were in an actual club, like you play tennis or you go to football or something, you're doing an activity with someone. But now, there are things like networking. So it's like you can go and meet human beings in a more positive environment. No one's going to be throwing a glass over your head who's drunk. No one's going to be offering you drugs. There's no alcohol involved, unless you can be drunk if you want at networking, but no one ever has. And it's like a healthy way to engage in conversation and being in a community, but be around human beings.
You've got the community for nights out if they want. You've got the community for walking, and you've got your online community where people have to stay at home.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's absolutely brilliant. And the bit that I was listening to Chris Williamson recently, and I thought of you. He said something like, and tell me if this relates to your social media presence and your business. He said that 85% of his followers, he gained them in 1 year, in 2024. So he spent 6 or 7 years creating his identity. And in 2024, in the December of 2024, he made more money through his subs because of the amount of followers that he got in that 1 year.
Yeah. I'm the same now.
And I think you've done extremely well recently in your, well, you've always done well, but the foundations and the seeds have been sown.
I think that's the key. That's when I said before, I'm good at zooming out and looking at the bigger picture and seeing the timeline of, if I do something here today, in 2 years or in 5 years, we'll get this result, and I'm willing to wait 5 years. But a lot of people are not willing to do that. But by way of social media, we're in, July now. So a year, February just gone. I'd only just started to commit to using social media properly, and especially to showcase networking. So MOVE Netwalking, my idea of marketing for that was the worst strategy you could ever think of. I'd turn up at like 5 to 7 and I go, I'll do a social media post on Instagram, and I get on a story and go, it's happening everyone, just at networking, waiting for everyone to turn up. If you want to come next week, give me a shout. And that was it, one post a week, just at 5 to 7 in the morning when no one's up, apart from the people who were already up coming to networking. So I was speaking to the wrong people, and I thought, that's just crap. So we need to commit to doing something which is, if I was advising someone to get themselves out there, what would it look like? What would it be? But we've got to post every day. It's got to be stuff that people can see and go, oh, looks good, I'm interested in that. And the first post I did was, we just happened to have a decent number of people there that week. I think it was the last, well, it was the first weekend of February. So it was our 4th birthday for networking in Sefton Park. So we had maybe 20, 25 people. So it was all right. It wasn't a massive crowd, but it was decent. And I just recorded, just stood there like that, let people walk past. And as they're walking past, it was maybe a 15-second video. And I just did a voiceover saying, what's happening? This is our networkers. We go over come here every Saturday, we're doing this. If you like people who are positive, if you like getting the steps, you come along next week. And that was my first post, actually dedicating to say, we do this thing called networking, get yourself involved. And from that point, I've committed to the content which has evolved into what it is today, of me interviewing people and showcasing what we do in networking. Back then, I had 4,500 followers on Instagram. I don't even know what I'm on now. I think it's like 23,000. So it's like grew, you know, what I don't know what that is, 600% or something in a year and a half. Not even a year and a half. So the bulk of the followers are from the last year.
It's the compound, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Warren Buffett talks about it in a financial sense. Well, so purely numbers, he made 3 billion by the time he was 60, and then he made 300 billion by the time he's 90. So basically, only 1% of his wealth was by the time he's 60. He just compounded his time and knowledge, and ultimately, that's the only thing is, if you're doing something, you're obviously doing something that you're passionate about, and you could do the rest, probably will do the rest of your life in some shape or form. So the compound effect, you're happy to wait for, because there's no end game for you, is it? You're just going to evolve wherever it takes you. So you could hear the people out there screaming, it's okay for him. He's found out what he enjoys doing the rest of his life. But I'm not naming any industry, but I'm doing something, and I don't want to do that forever. But normally, if you've got a good reputation, your skills and knowledge in that field helps you grow. Every year, or the current time, is going to be the most successful time, because you've built your reputation, you've compounded that. And for me, I'm always thinking, well, if you're looking to end it, it doesn't make sense to even start it, unless there's a sellout or there's an exit, and
with a plan. Because it's like, what's the point selling, making loads of money,
and then you're going to have
and you're back at square one. But if square one is actually the start of the next phase, because it's an overall plan, that's great. The exit strategies are good. Yeah. But a lot of people do exit strategies and they're like, I've got 5 million, or I've got X amount of million.
And become miserable.
And now, like, what do we
because
do?
What's the point? They were the identity, or they don't know. Yeah. They don't know the next step to take.
Yeah. And it's being around people and helping them, like you say, helping them be successful. That's what gives you the biggest success. I listen to a guy called Andy Frisella, great podcast, but he often talks about the fact that his company's doing probably $1 billion, it's a big company. But he says, I just work now to make sure that everybody in the company can drive the car they want. So like whatever their goal is, I want them to hit it. Like that's my driving force now. I don't need any more money.
I love hearing when people that I'm connected to, not that I deserve any credit for it, but when people in the company buy a new house or car or pay for holidays or they're taking 2 weeks off, I think, well done you. I'm delighted for them. And I'm also happy to be the one that'll fill in or be in the office or answer the phone or do what's needed
in their absence
to give them
to let them
their moment, especially when it's family orientated. Yeah. If someone says I'm going on a bender on a stag do, I don't think that's as fruitful.
I'm not going to champion that one.
But I will do if I know someone's going to take their family away for their first ever family holiday. I think, you know what, that's well done you, and I'm delighted for you.
Right, that's it.
So what's with the spatula story?
Spatula.
For anyone that doesn't know what the spatula is, Mark runs around with a spatula with a microphone on the top of it, asking questions to people. So how did that end up there?
Well, let's just start by saying not even a spatula. So we just call it that because as soon as people see it, they instantly go, oh, it's a spatula. But it's actually a fish slice, which you know because it's got grooves in it. Spatula is just a full piece of whatever, wood or silicone, but we called it a spatula. And when I started the content and I decided that, a year last February, I'm committing to doing good content. Well, the person who'd come that week or the week after was a girl called Chloe, and Chloe does social media strategy, and she's like really up on like the latest trends and all that. She said, I help people with social media. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm a coach. I like getting coached. I like getting mentored. Can't stand coaches who don't get coached. It's like, how hypocritical is that? So let's do something where you can coach me in social media, keep me accountable, mentor me, and let's just see where it goes with my commitments of social media and your knowledge, put it together. So we did that, and within a week or so, she said something like, you know what you should do? Interview the people in networking, because that's good content. It showcases who's there, lets us know like what's it about, what do they think of it, like what do they do, what's the profile behind each of these people. So it starts interviewing them with questions and stuff. So I said, okay, I can do that. I used to actually do that a year ago at that point, when I'd go live on TikTok and I'd be interviewing people. But back then I just had a mic stuck in the bottom of my phone and it'd pick up the sound. But now I had this, literally got in my pocket now when I get out, because I just have it, it doesn't go anywhere. I don't go anywhere without that in my pocket. It's like, this is, you've got to have it audio. But anyway, I've got that. I'm like, it doesn't open very big, so you can't like fit it on something, it'll slide off, or it's got to be something thin. What am I going to put that on the end of? Because it's Friday night, I haven't got time to order one off Amazon for tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, 7 in the morning for networking. So let's find something. And I literally stood there on my kitchen island, pulled the drawer open, like there's something in there, like a fork or something. I'll just put on the end of something as a joke. And the spatula was in there. I thought,
Fish slice.
Put it on, I'm like, bit funny. I said to Steph, I'm going to use that tomorrow as a joke. She was like, no, don't be using that. I was like, I've got nothing else to put it on. So it's either don't do the content, or it's use what you've got, which is a good attitude. That's my attitude in life. Like, use whatever resources you've got available and don't make an excuse to not do the thing. So I was like, I'm doing that. Went there the next morning, said, I want to ask everyone a question, and why'd you come to network? And I think that was the question. And everyone's like, oh, what's funny, spatula? And everyone's buzzing off it, like thinking this is a bit quirky. And up to that point, I'd had this reputation of like, that Mark Waldron's like a robot. He's like bloody, you know, he's dead disciplined and he's not, doesn't look fun at all. He never laughs, never smiles. He's always talking about like fitness and mindset. Because I wanted that content, I wanted people to win. It's like, to win, you've got to be physically moving, go to the gym, eat good food, be disciplined. There's a technique to do this. So I'd be helping a lot, but it only showcased like 10% of me. Didn't showcase me having a laugh or anything. So people just think, oh, he's like bloody, you know, this perception of me, which wasn't true. So when I started using that spatula, I thought this is so good, because it's a metaphor for so many things. It's being resourceful and not making an excuse and saying, just use what you've got. If I only had a glass, I would have just used the glass and gone, what's happening, and done that. Like, you be resourceful. Then it was, let's have a laugh. Like, don't take yourself seriously. Just use what you've got and have a bit of fun. And it puts people at ease when they see me with the spatula. They're like, well, he's not too serious, I can have a laugh. And it eases people. And it's reusing a piece of something we didn't use anymore. Don't use that spatula to cook. So it's like you're reusing something and upscaling it to something else and making use of something, recycling. Another good message. So there's loads of reasons as to why that spatula like represents so many good things in life and in business and resourcefulness.
You weren't embarrassed to, you weren't afraid to embarrass yourself.
I know.
You thought, just give it a go. What's the worst can happen? Well, at least normally when you make people smile, you get buy-in to nearly everything.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, nobody wants to speak to the guy that has it all sorted all the time.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody who wanted to set up a community-based business?
Know the mission straight away. You've got to know what's the whole point of that. Why, where are you headed? What's the big vision? So tell people, like, there's what we're building. So I'm always saying to people, can't wait to get to at least 1,000 members. That's still only like 1% of where we want to be. We want to have millions of members, but like Warren Buffett, let's get to at least 3 billion straight away, and then we'll get to 300 billion in a later date. But 1,000 members, there's no community in Liverpool or locally or in the UK that's got 1,000 members that's known as well as what we are. So we haven't even got 200 members yet, but we're steadily growing, and it's fine that it's steady. It's not fast. What grows fast can be taken fast. So
I would
like steady.
My view on your community is that it'd be really hard to leave your community, because there's very little that you can be upset with. It's all good things. It's a bit like my businesses and a lot of my clients, and even, for example, in the property business, landlords I work with, I've never had a landlord leave me unless they were selling the property and exiting completely.
Moving abroad.
And with that, retention is 99 point something %. And I would always prefer to have a business that retention is so high and slowly grow than a business where 100 new members, 50 out, 100 new members, 50 out. And I think that, what you and Andrea have set up are, is fantastic, to be honest. In a simplistic level too, because it's not complicated to go for a walk and meet people. It's not like you've done this big diagram and terrified everyone into thinking, oh, I need Mark to solve my problems. You basically keep it simple enough for people aren't afraid to. Do you know what I watched? I watched the documentary, The Inside Job. Great documentary. Came out in 2011 about the financial crash and what the finance industry has done. Banking industry, they made it so complex, the system, to make everyone feel so stupid that you won't question it or you feel like you need them. And it kind of suppresses or maybe doesn't let people be the guardian of their own finances. Well, you're doing the opposite. You're saying, well, just turn up and let's have a chat. You want to be part of the community, you're in. You don't need this whole complex. You don't need to have your sweat vest on and and have already 3 years of business under the. You just basically turn up, keep it simple, and we'll guide you. So what you stand for me is it's fantastic.
I appreciate it, mate. And simplicity is one of our values. We've got a few values that we lead the company by, and one of them is simplicity. It's like our process is simple, is what we offer simple. Because the simple way, the basics, we've got someone in networking called Dave, and he's worked in F1 for nearly 30 years. And he talks about the high level nature of F1. And he says one of the key things that gets every team, or at least the team he's worked for over the years, and he worked for a few different ones, but he said it's this simple term, world-class basics. Doing the basics really well, rather than trying to do loads of things and complicate it, but not doing any of them very well at all. And having this complex machine that it's gone too far that how does it even work anymore? If you've got something that people can understand straight away and not have to use too many brain cells and too many calories thinking, and it can be explained and they know what they can get from it, you're doing your job right. You want to minimize the amount of questions someone needs to ask in order to know what it is you do, or how you can help, or how what you provide them will make their life better. And that's what we do. It's keeping it simple.
So what's the future of MOVE and Mark Waldron?
Keep doing what we're doing. Our biggest priority, without doubt, we love networking. That will always keep growing, and eventually we want to get that to more cities, initially around the UK and certainly across the world, global. But the way to do that will be through our online meetings. So we're entertaining an idea now where we do our mentor meetings online. It's a Zoom call, 90 minutes, nice and simple. Again, back to simplicity, but it just allows people to bring a challenge and say, here's what I need help with. Everyone on the call helps each other. They're really good. People should get involved if they fancy it, but we want to grow them, and we're going to try doing them location based. So if know anyone across the world can jump on, we'll have a MOVE Online Manchester, and a MOVE Online London, MOVE Online Leeds, and then MOVE Online Dubai and Perth and Australia and all these places. So we're hoping that's going to work. And it's, again, we don't know, but that's part of the journey of business. You're like, that sounds like a good way, let's try it. And it either will or it won't. And you make your choice. But grow and MOVE Online and having hundreds, if not thousands of meetings every week for business owners to be able to access, that's like the big vision. And if we've got a MOVE Netwalking with lots of people in from Manchester, it's then going to be easier to start, a MOVE Online, it will then be easier to start a networking in that area. And if you've got 100 people from Dubai jumping on a MOVE Online Dubai event throughout the week online, it's easier to get those people to meet for the networking. So I think networking will grow from MOVE Online growing. And ultimately MOVE Online is there to help people in the business and themselves become better by just simply focusing on helping each other and building relationships and getting the support they need on that. So for business owners that want to get better they should come on to Move Online. They can try it for free.
So where do people find you?
Well, our website's move.uk.com. My Instagram is probably, and my TikTok are the two main places that people can contact me, see the content, and the links in the bio on the Instagram page. I've got every single thing in that we do. Most notably, Move Online and MOVE Netwalking. Both links are there. You can click that. You can register, try them for free. Doesn't cost anyone a penny. All it costs them is a bit of effort on their own time. And if they like it, they'll stay and they'll pay some money. If they don't, they won't. And either way, it's the right answer, because we only want people to be a Move that see the value. And that's why it's a slow and steady, you know, what we're building is slow and steady, but it's with the right people. And the community is literally known for having such a good positive culture and no negativity, because we literally are saying to people, if you don't want to be in, you shouldn't be in. But if you do and you like it, you should definitely join. And the people that join are those people. So it's made up of people that you don't want to have in the club.
Well, I can vouch for that. I know so many people that are part of your community, and well, when they talk about it, they feel fulfilled and they feel they've got value. So it's,
Love that.
You can't really ask any more than that.
I mean, that's what it's about. If you can help people feel fulfilled and leave their life being better, then it's working.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure, mate. Appreciate the opportunity to chat. Always good.